Instant reaction on tonight's 23-20 walk-off doink by the Commanders to beat Tampa. An upset, but if you had to pick one, this may have been the upset. I don't think many people thought Denver or Green Bay were going to come out with wins. I'm a little surprised, but I mean, is Jaden Daniels the best rookie quarterback ever? I mean, he had a little bit of turbulence in the midseason, but it's a lot like Andrew Luck. I mean, Andrew Luck came into the league with a terrible roster, and this isn't a great one. It's better than Andrew Luck's. But Andrew Luck was a top 10 quarterback as a rookie. Intelligence, toughness, mobility, arm. Jaden's much thinner. He's not quite as rugged. I mean, the guy finished, I think I'm right on this, fifth fourth quarter comeback this season. That's tied with Patrick Mahomes for the most in the NFL. I mean, it was interesting. I guess this was my best prediction of the year. I picked Washington to be a playoff team. And I think it's one of my favorite things to do is do future bets where you try to predict. I picked Washington and Denver were my surprise teams. Last year it was the Rams. Year before it was Minnesota. I have as much fun doing that as anything. But I didn't think Jaden Daniels would be this. I knew Cliff Kingsbury pounded the table for him. The kid, his quickness, his smarts. I mean, in the red zone, I'm looking at this. On fourth down tonight, his passer rating was 103. That's just incredible. On the final drive, 3 for 3, ran for a first down, 57 passing yards. His decision making. I mean, do you know how fast you got to be above the shoulders to do all this stuff? I mean, some of it's, you're just kind of instinctive. Like, obviously, great athletes are just naturally gifted. But I've said this about some players in sports. Like, some guys, I mean, LeBron broke into the NBA, and he was such a smart player. Had some limitations early on, shooting from the outside, but he just had a feel for the game. This kid's making decisions in crisis, in a congested red zone that, I mean, like 8-year veterans make. I can't tell you how impressed I am with Jaden Daniels. And I had said Friday on the show I like Tampa to win, and the only way that I thought Washington would win, because Tampa's got a better overall roster, was if, Jaden Daniels just performed magic. Yeah, he did. What was he, 24 of 35, 270 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, 11 rushes, 8 for 15 on third down. I mean, and Tampa's defense is, Vita Vea up front. I mean, it's active. Todd Bowles likes, it's aggressive. Tampa's always been a little bit of an underrated place to play. It gets pretty rowdy down in Tampa. Now they're on to Detroit, which will be a real test for Washington. But I think what you're watching is all-time stuff. And, and I'm going to talk to John Middlecoff today about, we've got a really good podcast that talks about Mike Tomlin, Mike Vrabel, Eagles, Packers, Bills, Broncos. At the end of it, 20 minutes, I think you'll be interested. John, a native Californian, his thoughts on the wildfires and the disaster in California. I think you'll really enjoy it. But I'm sitting there watching that game tonight, and I thought after that goal line stand by Tampa, that was a great goal line stand. I thought, wow, that's game-changing. And then Tampa fumbles, Washington gets it right back, and Jaden Daniels throws a ball, a seed to the back of the end zone. But you got to give Dan Quinn the credit, too, because Dan, a lot of people would have struggled to go for it on fourth down. But that's very Dan Campbell. So Dan Quinn's a very aggressive guy. Dan Campbell's a very aggressive guy. You'll see Mike Vrabel do this in New England, very aggressive guys. They're trying to create a culture of confidence, a culture of alpha, a culture of belief. And when you're as bad as Washington has been for this long, you've got to really change everything. I remember when Barry Alvarez took over Wisconsin, and Wisconsin was a bottom 10 college football program, and they had outdated facilities, and nobody thought Camp Randall was an intimidating place to play. And, Barry Alvarez was like, you got to be proud. I mean, we are so lucky to have these facilities. And he really changed the way Badger players thought about Badger facilities and Camp Randall and the stadium and the environment. And he just instilled this pride and this confidence in Wisconsin or Wisconsin Badger football. And you can go back and look at it. It took a couple years, but I can remember him going to Rose Bowls, and Wisconsin was just big, tough, physical, a little bit like Barry Alvarez, a little chutzpah, a lot of confidence. And I think and I think players become the coach. And I think, Detroit, a lot of belief. Say what you want about the Chargers end of the season, but the defense was tough and physical. And I think Dan Quinn has implemented that. That's why he's going for it on fourth down. It's like, hey, we got nothing to lose. It's in Tampa. Baker Mayfield's a veteran. I got a rookie quarterback. I'm going for it. House money here. And I love it. High pressure situations. And obviously, and I had noted this multiple times, there's kind of a rule when you get a rookie quarterback is downplay it in camp. Like, hey, it's going to take a time. Let's reset expectations. When Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury came out in camp and were like, yeah, this kid's unbelievable. Already knows the playbook. I mean, it's unbelievable what a leader he is. You're like, and Dan Quinn's been around the block. And Dan Quinn was just heaping praise on Jaden Daniels in camp before preseason games. And you're thinking, man, this kid must be really, really special. And you read some of those early DC media reports, I did anyway, in The Athletic or in print, and you're like, man, this kid is tearing it up. It is camp. But it's not that Washington doesn't. Terry McLaurin's a great player, and they've got some defensive linemen. They have talent. Now, let's not make it the Commanders don't have talent. But it's all centered around an aggressive coach and a remarkable rookie quarterback. And I've noted this a few times before. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and Washington was a football power, and there was like a 30-year waiting list for tickets. This is a win-starved football community. DC loves its NFL football, and I just welcome back. This is great. Detroit is a big lift, but I think we're all watching an all-timer in Jaden Daniels. Mobility, release, accuracy, twitchiness. I mean, just to be this good in the fourth quarter and on fourth down and on third down in a playoff game, you just don't see this. You get all the upside, occasional picks, but you bake that in for somebody his age. You bake it in. What a performance. And for Tampa, hell of a year. Baker Mayfield earned every bit of that contract. One of the more underrated, paid players in the league. I mean, Baker is. He is one of the most underpaid players in the league right now. And earned every penny of his contract. Tip of the cap. Great year. Rough loss. But you may have lost to the next great superstar quarterback in the NFL, if there's a positive. I mean, this is the first Commander playoff win in 20 years. But they had talent for years, but they were so poorly owned and so poorly run and so poorly coached. Like, they had players. It just upstairs was such a chaotic zoo. And the line is out. The Lions are -8.5 against the Commanders. That's a big number. But so was Buffalo over Denver. And so was Baltimore over Pittsburgh. I'm not sure which way I'd lean on that. And to go into Tampa and win was something else. Finally got ourselves a close playoff game.
Prepare yourself. Be ready.
Sorry, kid. Get up!
Prepare yourself.
Watch out!